The Russian parade is underway, Red Square is filled, Putin is actually there and has started his speech, and he's come out with two particular tropes which I think need to be contextualized. His first is that the West has forgotten that Russia beat the Nazis, and the second is that Russia is engaged in a fight with NATO and the West, which NATO began. Both of these ideas are part of the Russian propaganda and part of the obsessive drive to convince the domestic audience. And I know myself from the many Russian students that I've had, it becomes very difficult to challenge the idée fixe that Russia won the Second World War. And that is, it's an extraordinary shock to hear that the first time, but that is the routine understanding. And I think to contextualize it, we need to remember that meeting in Yalta with Roosevelt, Churchill, and Stalin. And we also need to remember that one of the reasons that Germany was divided in half and East Germany was communist was because Russia got to Berlin first. It doesn't mean that Russia won the Second World War. And secondly, the second claim is simply a lie. It was Putin who invaded Ukraine, and Putin did that in 2014. There is no doubt about that. Even though there was messing around in the Obama camp trying to influence the direction of Ukrainian politics, it's absolutely certain that Putin's forces moved into the Donbass. The Wagner Brigade, the Chechens fermented discord from 2014 onwards. The annexation of Crimea, a Putin initiative. The invasion of Ukraine last year, a Putin initiative. Nothing to do with the West. And I think the West is quite right. I've always thought the West is quite right in supporting Mr. Zelensky. And Zelensky is a different character to his predecessors. To accuse Zelensky of being a Nazi or hosting Nazis or favoring Nazis is absurd. The only fascistic regime in evidence is that of Putin's Kremlin. And I think we have to observe what Putin stands for, how Putin behaves, because that autocratic, authoritarian-driven system is something that I think is attractive to governments, and we need to be on our guard that we don't go in the same direction. This is the age, the spirit of the age, and it's something that needs to be resisted at all costs.